our Around the World segment tonight, President Trump says his trip to Israel shows Israelis and Palestinians are ready for peace. But Trump may be a little too optimistic about peace, considering that the Palestinians are still paying people to kill Jews. But watch.
I had a meeting this morning with President Abbas and can tell you that the Palestinians are ready to reach for peace. Benjamin Netanyahu wants peace. Making peace, however, will not be easy. We all know that. Both sides will face tough decisions. But with determination, compromise, and the belief that peace is possible, Israelis and Palestinians can make a deal.
Joining me now, Middle East analyst, former IDF soldier, and former NYPD officer, Mika Danzig. Mika, good to see you.
Good to see you, Liz, as always.
All right, you heard the man. President Trump says his trip to Israel demonstrates to him, shows that the Israelis and the Palestinians are ready for peace. Do you agree?
Well, the Israelis have always been ready for peace. There's, Israel has put its hand out in peace, thousands of times. Israel's agreed to peace deals numerous times. Israel has never actually said no to a proposed partition plan or land for peace plan that was proposed in the past, be it 1937, 1948. Even in 1967, Israel offered to return lands that it conquered in a defensive war, a war of annihilation launched by three Arab countries in exchange for peace. And it was the response of the Arab League was the famous 3 no's at the Khartoum conference in Sudan. No recognition, no peace, no negotiations. So Israel's always been ready for peace, and Israelis teach for peace. On the other hand, the Palestinian Authority and the Arabs that it represents, they've not done anything to demonstrate that they're ready for peace. I'm not sure what Donald Trump heard from Mahmoud Abbas, but all he needs to do is listen to what Mahmoud Abbas says in Arabic and know that the Palestinian leadership, and certainly the Palestinians themselves, have not demonstrated they're ready for peace.
Right. I mean, you and I talked about this last week. I mean, a good demonstration, a good indication, a show of faith, if you will, from the Palestinian Authority would simply being stopping their pay-to-slay program where they give stipends, they give rewards to the families of terrorists who die, or the families of terrorists who die killing Israelis.
Yeah, and terrorists who don't die but are successful in killing Israelis. As Benjamin Netanyahu said the other day, if the Manchester bomber who killed 22 people, including many children, was a Palestinian Arab and he had done that to Israelis, he would be a hero in the Palestinian Authority. His family would be getting a huge stipend for the rest of their lives. And Mahmoud Abbas, who's supposedly ready for peace, would name a town square after him, a school after him, and a soccer team after him. So, and they'd hold a huge ceremony saying that he's about to have a wedding in heaven with 72 virgins, all courtesy of U.S. taxpayer dollars. So I don't understand how anybody can think that Mahmoud Abbas is ready for peace. But even more fundamentally, anybody has to do is look at all the Pew studies and surveys that have been done among Arabs living in Judea and Samaria under the Palestinian Authority control or in Gaza under Hamas and know these people are not, quote, ready for peace. Fully 53% of the Arabs surveyed in those areas said they don't think that the 9/11 attack was terrorism, right? 78% of them are supportive of suicide bomb attacks against Israelis.
Right.
This is a vast majority. How can anybody say these are people who are, quote, ready for peace?
Right. And I mean, that was the crux of my question. I mean, I know the President of the United States met with the President of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, and I guess, I mean, maybe this is just getting too much to the personal level, but in your opinion, did Mahmoud Abbas lie to Donald Trump? Was Donald Trump too gullible, or did he actually sit him down and say, hey, these are the concessions that Israel made before I came here. These are the concessions that it would be necessary for you to make in order for there to be a true peace here. Perhaps he walked back his idea that anything other than a 2-state solution would work. I mean, how do you think that went?
Well, I can't know for certain what Donald Trump said. I can tell you, when you ask if Mahmoud Abbas lied to Donald Trump, that is to me like asking if Mahmoud Abbas was breathing while he was meeting with Donald Trump. Of course he lied to Donald Trump. Mahmoud Abbas lied to Donald Trump in front of the entire world at their last press conference when he said that the Palestinians have a culture of peace and that the Palestinians are, quote, the only occupied people on earth. So he lies all the time. And he says one thing in Arabic to his people, and he says another thing in English when he's speaking to the Western world. And he's been playing this game for years, and he is the terrorist in chief of the Palestinian Authority, and he supports terrorism in every way possible. But there's another issue here that it bothers me that Donald Trump doesn't seem to recognize when he talks about making a deal, and a deal is possible, and the Palestinians are ready for peace. Who does Mahmoud Abbas represent? He is the unelected dictator of just the Palestinian Authority. He's in the 13th year of a 4-year term. Hamas controls Gaza. Hamas has said that they will kill Mahmoud Abbas. Mahmoud Abbas exists because of the protection provided to him by the Israelis, right? If there were ever to be a peace deal, so to speak, and Israel would actually completely pull its military away, right, from Judea and Samaria, God forbid at this point, but if that ever happened, right, Mahmoud Abbas would be dead within weeks. And Hamas, or something worse, like ISIS, would be in control of all that territory.
Right, and President Trump, I want to get to this before the end of the segment, so I'm going to transition to it quickly because we don't have that much time left. President Trump actually talked about in Israel, he talked about the existential threat to Israel from Iran, partnering with Israel in very strict language, strict rhetoric, saying Iran cannot be allowed to acquire a nuclear weapon. I do want to show that video before we go.
The United States is firmly committed to keep Iran from developing a nuclear weapon and halting their support of terrorists and militias. So we are telling you right now that Iran will not have nuclear weapons.
Mika, whether or not his optimism about the Israelis and the Palestinians being ready for peace together, whether or not that's, too optimistic, or whether that's just the first step in a good negotiator, I mean, I think there's no doubt that President Trump's policy when it comes to Israel is a stark contrast to the previous 8 years.
Oh, there were so many positives with respect to both that aspect of his speech and many other aspects of the visit. Israelis appreciate seeing the President of the United States at the Western Wall, what Israelis call the Kotel, and being there in a reflective moment, recognizing the importance of that space and that site to Israelis. And they certainly welcome a strong statement about Iran and saying that America stands with Israel in preventing Iran from being a nuclear power. That is incredibly important. Now, of course, we have to be able to make that a reality, because Iran is going to race to be a nuclear power, just like North Korea did, despite its.
Well, they already are, right. It's already happening. It's already happening. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the Iran nuclear deal, following that strength of rhetoric about Iran acquiring a nuclear weapon in general.